Greed, global truth.
News: a federal detention hearing for Sean Diddy Combs. And we're back with some breaking news. A federal detention hearing for Sean Diddy Combs has just ended, and CNN's Kara Scannell is outside the courthouse in New York. Kara, obviously, this is a huge case. What just happened?
Yeah, Jake. So the magistrate judge overseeing this hearing today has remanded Sean Diddy Combs into custody after he was charged with that sex trafficking case. He was let out of the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals, and he will be held in federal detention as this case moves forward. Now, this followed a lengthy hearing with both prosecutors and Diddy's attorneys, arguing reasons why he should be kept behind bars and why he should be released. Diddy's lawyers saying,
"We got breaking news. We got breaking news. Diddy was denied bail. Oh, he was denied. Oh, man. He's going to be stuck with the ruffians after all the damn filth, debauchery, sin, abominations, horrendous actions that this man has conducted. It's official. He just got denied bail. See, I'm getting like updates just by the second right now, and it's official. Diddy is gonna be running for his dear life, and damn it, that boy ain't getting out, y'all. He not getting out. He not getting out. Telling y'all right now, yo, people came into the chat already lit off the break. Oh, man, somebody said, will Diddy spill the beans? They just jumped in the room talking about, will Diddy spill the beans? My answer is he going to be in that courthouse like, I'm going to put cases on all you. Nah, he going to pull a training day. That's what I think going to happen. A billionaire denied bail. They got him. He's red-handed. He's caught red-handed. It's over.
That he has taken voluntary steps, including turning over his passport to his lawyers, saying he would report any of his movements to prosecutors. But the judge finding that was just not enough. She said, my concern is that this is a crime that happened behind closed doors, even when pretrial services is monitoring. So she said there was nothing that his lawyers had offered that made her feel comfortable that he would return to this courthouse for subsequent court hearings and for a trial. She said that it was both his substance abuse and the fact that some of this physical abuse that's been alleged occurred when he was using drugs and alcohol, that was a reason why she couldn't trust that he would not commit any additional crimes while he was left on bail.
Okay, so y'all know the feds was coming a day early. Y'all know in the last broadcast, couple broadcasts ago, whatever the case is, the feds were saying they had to swoop in and go get him because we didn't know why, but they had to swoop in and go get Diddy because of this reason. They thought, look, this man is on so many damn narcotics. We don't know what he's gonna do from hour to hour at this point. Look, we're gonna have to get in there, do our probe operation, sting operation, grab him up, because we don't know who's gonna get violated next. That's what's happening right now. Let us continue.
So Sean Diddy Combs is not going to be walking out this door. He is in federal custody where he will be unless his lawyers are able to convince a different judge to release him.
Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise, and they actually named it in the indictment, the Combs Enterprise. And they said that this enterprise consisted of him as the alleged leader, his employees, assistants, staff, allegedly, that were able to procure women and alleged male sex workers to engage in performances for his own sexual gratification. Where it differs from a mob indictment, it has all the elements of putting together this racketeering allegation.
Hold up. His whole staff was out here procuring men, women, whoever. Ugh. So hold up. Where they at? Put their ass in court too. We need names and we need faces. How the hell was he able to get next to these certain people who can orchestrate such an atrocity? This is sick. Hollywood is going down.
Of all these moving pieces using resources from his businesses. But the fact that this is about an allegation of sexual gratification being accomplished by alleged human trafficking. It's one of the most unique indictments I've ever seen in this area, in the area of sex crimes, because the government isn't actually prosecuting the sex crimes other than the human trafficking or the sex trafficking. They're not prosecuting any type of alleged sexual abuse to women, although that's part of this racketeering scheme. But the actual charges are racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transporting individuals over state lines to engage in prostitution.
Damn. Oh, man. So when y'all looking at things from the outside, like, yo, these people are just rich, famous, having a good time. They can do whatever they want because they got the money. And, you know, they can have who they want. They live in a luxurious lifestyle. I mean, damn, celebrity weddings and everybody's just coming together. They're happy. Everybody's glowing, shining. Everybody living good. These Negroes, on the other hand, on some more dark, sinister type of waves. That means when they be going to them Hollywood parties, this is how I go down. They go to them Hollywood parties and mansion party. You going over here, you going over there. They're not finding their interests. They're not finding what they're looking for. So they're going underground. Even these Hollywood guys with millions of dollars are going underground. They're going underground. And they're on some hostile stuff. We talking about people tied up. This is a bad look. People tied up, forcible entry, held at AR-15, gunpoint.
Reasoning around all of this, his alleged motivation as presented in that indictment by the government is for his own personal gratification. And that's just the strangest type of indictment I've ever seen. But I agree with you. This indictment reads, it's very disturbing. The facts presented are out of, a very bad Hollywood story.
They out here finding 1,000 pounds of oil and lube. But here's the crazy part about the oil, the damn baby oil and the lube that his whole staff are responsible. Check this out. Diddy's whole staff is responsible for stockpiling thousands of pounds of baby oil and lubrication in hotels. How the hell they get away with this? Why? How? Vaseline, baby oil, grease, Jergens, you name it. This is wild, son.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these sexual performances that have been named freak-offs. And there seems to be a ton of evidence allegedly tying this scheme together. So it's an interesting way of prosecuting it, but I understand why they did it that way.
So what did you make of what Elizabeth Wagmeister just reported? And obviously, Sean Diddy Combs and his attorneys they're gonna get their day in court. But the idea that the government, in their characterization, does not say that anybody did any of these things non-consensually. What do you make of that?
I make of that as being a big flaw already in the government's case, which the defense was quick to point out. Even if he was engaging in this alleged conduct, there was no allegation or no statement in that indictment saying that any of these alleged victims or alleged witnesses willingly participated in some of these acts that people find offensive. That
what in the demonic hell is going on? What's happening here? How is this even possible, people? There has to be an orchestrated event taking place right now as we speak. They have to be in on it. Like, ain't no way. Anyway, let's continue.
Are sound to be offensive. And that's a very important part of the case. What was the consent? But there are enough charges here where outside of what the alleged victims are going to say about how he was using the resources allegedly from his enterprises, his businesses, his well-known Bad Boy Entertainment, his clothing line resources, his liquor line resources. Allegedly, there were funds used from that resources to engage in this alleged prostitution activity across state lines. And that's why it's a federal case, because it's across straight lines. So there are some problems that the defense has brought up originally.
Mind you, the prostitutes that Diddy, the diddler, was ordering, or however you want to call it, they were males. They were men, grown-ass men. So, Diddy right now, he's facing federal prosecution. I'm talking about they didn't face the grand jury. We're talking about more than likely right now, Diddy, as we speak, he's sitting in his habitat. He's in his habitat amongst the men. Oh, man.
Originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
So the Office of the Southern District of New York seems awfully confident about their ability to handle the scope and complexity of the case. But still, why do you think it took them so long for them to go after Combs, considering they allege his crimes have been going on for more than a decade?
My theory is that the government had an easy time putting together this final prosecution because of all the civil actions existing against Sean Combs right now. The case with Cassie, which that video was shown, his former girlfriend, where he was.
Did she answer the question? I got to go back. I'm sorry.
My theory is that a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
So the Office of the Southern District of New York seems awfully confident about their ability to handle the scope and complexity of the case. But still, why do you think it took them so long for them to go after Combs, considering they allege his crimes have been going on for more than a decade?
My theory is that the government had an easy time putting together this final prosecution because of all the civil actions existing against Sean Combs right now. The case with Cassie, which that video was shown, his former girlfriend, where he was seen assaulting her. It looked like certainly that he was assaulting her on video. I think the government and investigators were able to accumulate all this easy evidence that was just handed to them from the attorneys who prepared the civil case.
So what I ascertained from her answer is that Diddy is done. Regardless on how long it took to prosecute him, he's done. He's pretty much cooked. He's toast. Yeah, there's a lot of people who obviously been paid off for a certain amount of time. It's clear that, judgment is happening. The roosters have come to crow. And somebody asked something very interesting within the chat. And I want to answer that. I want to respond to that rather. It's too late to go back. The point I'm making is, look, he caught now. Federal indictments is on from here. It ain't no way Diddy is going to be outrunning inmates for the rest of his life. He's going to be outrunning inmates for the rest of his life. There's no reversing that. Ain't no coming back from this one. It literally ain't no coming back from this one. He's caught. It's done. It's done. The reign of tyranny ends now. Somebody said Diddy is a distraction for NPCs and sheeple. Well, you tell me what Diddy is distracting us from. Just maybe, we're seeing in real time evil being held accountable. Think about it. I want to go to the DA's office. That's what I want to do. I'm going to share something with y'all so y'all can get a greater understanding of what's taking place right now. Here we go. That's the video right there. That's the one. Let's get to it.
Sean P. Diddy Combs has been arrested and indicted on federal charges. The disgraced music icon has faced startling allegations for months of rape, sexual assault, physical abuse, gun trafficking, and drug trafficking. On Monday evening, he was indicted by a grand jury in New York. He was taken into custody in Manhattan, where he's been for the last week in anticipation of these charges. Now, the charges haven't been made public just yet. In fact, the indictment was sealed. But according to the New York Times, a person familiar with the prosecution says they believe Diddy faces charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. Diddy's legal team said they were disappointed with the decision to prosecute, but mentioned their client has been cooperative with law enforcement. A statement from his legal team reads, quote, Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the Black community. He is an imperfect person, but is not criminal. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges.
Hey, I want to tell y'all right now, it's over for Diddy. It's done. It's done. And after the tyranny that he's ran over the years, we finally get to see this thing come to a halt, a screeching halt, and he's caught. Y'all will see, like, the last 2 streams I did, this one may be getting a little bit more views than the others based on how many people are getting in the first 20 minutes, right? So let me reiterate some things. Diddy's done. Now, the reason we know this is because if I can bring you back just a little bit, he has he's been completely exposed at this point. The federal indictments that was ran through a grand jury have divulged certain information of Diddy with his freak offs. That's what they call his damn freak off. The freak offs is what's going to nail him. The nail in the coffin is the freak offs. The freak offs is that is completely it. The freak offs, they have evidence of Diddy holding AR-15s, yes, assault rifles on victims, taking advantage of them, men and women. There's demos of him bringing, male escorts over, coercing them and drugging them. It's looking bad. It's just way too many demos on Diddy, and this is not going to end well. The tapes are out. They got tapes. They got video footage. They got everything you expect them to have. For the record, it's out there.
Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts. These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. All this comes about 6 months after 2 of Diddy's homes were raided by federal investigators back in March. Then we couldn't confirm Diddy was the target of the Homeland Security raids or what information the feds collected. Most of what we know came from the 5 civil suits with a series of shocking allegations ranging from the 90s until now. Multiple people alleged Diddy raped them, drugged them, and recorded all of that. We can't confirm it just yet, but it was likely those civil lawsuits that led up to the federal investigation and later Diddy's arrest. This is breaking news that is constantly developing, so stay with Law and Crime for all the latest updates.
Hey, it is what it is. I'm done talking about this. Y'all know what's coming. The judgment of the Most High. B-Rock, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. But anyway, brothers and sisters, I just did a continuation of my previous stream. And that's what it is, man. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining, catching my broadcast. Hey, like the video, share the video, get the information out there. Love y'all. Shalom and peace.